Hey guys, I'm back with another gunbreaker video. It took a couple minutes to get a party together on the duty finder, so I waited until I got one. So I just recorded this whole thing, and there was an error when it was encrypted, so I could not open it, I can't view it, and luckily it's this one again. I like this one. I like this dungeon. Alright, so first thing as a tank, put on your tank stance. Second thing as a tank, I'm going to be pulling everything. So, if you're going to pull everything, make sure you pull everything right from the get-go. So I'm using a 1-2 combo, and then I'm moving. That's it. That way I'm letting everybody know we're not sticking around. We're moving on. If you stick around for anything longer than a 1-2 combo, people are going to get upset. Anyway, I'm back to the 1-2 combo. Now that I've got everyone here, I want to use Reprisal and pop a cooldown. I want to pop my strongest cooldown because it has the longest recast time. Now, as you could see, things got a little hairy there for a second, so I was able to survive that because I have an ability called Aurora, which gives me a regen effect. So that's cool. So basically, as a tank, and Gunbreaker specifically, you want to pull all the monsters, grab them with a 1-2 combo. Boom. AoE combos are 1-2. Single target combos are usually 1-2-3. In fact, they're always 1-2-3. So I pull everything with my 1-2 combo, and then I reprise everyone. Reprisal is going to reduce everyone's damage, so all these mobs are doing less damage. And with them doing less damage, I'm going to also hit a defensive cooldown. I've got 4 of them. I've got 4 defensive cooldowns as a gun breaker. That's a lot. Most only have about 3. Most other tank classes only have about 3. I'm not sure about Paladin. I'm the least versed on Paladin, but Warrior and Dark Knight, they only have about 3. Alright, cool. So, for Gunbreaker, they have kind of their resource is called cartridges. So, their combos give you this resource, and you can spend them on 3 different things. A massively powerful AoE attack, a massively power single target attack, or a massively powerful single target combo. So basically all Gunbreaker is like doing your combos to get these cartridges, which by the way, you can only have 2 cartridges at a time. So once you get 2, you want to use the abilities that cost resources. See, I have 2 cartridges now, so before I finish my next combo, I want to use one of those cartridges. I just did. Now I'm going to finish my combo. Same thing there, and then finish my combo. So, using my Shadow Bolt is a tank buster, so I'm going to use cooldowns on that. So using my my cartridge abilities does not interrupt my combo, so that's very important. So I can like start my combo, and before I finish it, cut in with one of my cartridge abilities, and then go back and finish my combo. It's good. I also have an ability which increases my attack power. So I want to save my cartridges for when that is up. For when my my damage buff ability is up. Oops. I missed a cooldown, so I'm going to pop... I pop in a regen, and okay. So this party is doing a lot of damage, and I can't help to think that Gunbreaker is part of the reason. I'm sure these guys are really killing it, but Gunbreaker, as a tank, does a lot of damage. Alright, so 1-2 combo. Boom. And then move on. Move on, baby. Don't let them see the whites of your eyes. Just keep going. Pick these up with another 1-2 combo. Each time I finish one of those combos... Oh. Oh, no. The white mage just benedictioned me, and I used my Superb Lead. So, Superb Lead lowers my hit points to 1, but then makes me invincible. So, like, being invincible is cool and all. But that was crazy. Yeah, being at 1 hit point is crazy. Being invincible is cool, but 1 hit point? Especially when the white mage had just used benediction on me, which is there, as we all know. Massive cooldown. I can't remember how long it takes. You know, Johnny knows better than me, but it's something like 2 or 3 minutes before they can use it again. So I've got this, I'm using the cartridge ability Blasting Zone, or Faded Circle. It's called Faded Circle. And that's my AoE cartridge ability. So basically, I would do my 1-2 AoE combo, and then spam my AoE cartridge ability as much as possible. Alright, here comes a tank buster. Storm of Color is a tank buster. Because Gunbreaker has so many defensive cooldowns, it's one of the only tanks where you want to double up on your defensive cooldowns. So if any other tank, it would be kind of frowned upon to double up on your defensive cooldowns, right? Because the point of them is like one of them gets the job done. But for Gunbreaker, your defensive cooldowns are slightly weaker, and the trade-off is that you get more of them. So it's definitely intended for you to double up on them. Okay, so that was a raid wide. So here's the thing about raid wides. Every time he does a raid wide, we can reprise it so that it does less damage. And so that's what I should have done there. Alright, what else is interesting? Every time I do the 1-2-3 combo, I'm going to be getting a cartridge. Ode to Lost Love, that's the AoE, so I'm reprising it. Here comes direct seeding. We all know what that is. Once again, our damage is out of control here. This is crazy. We almost got him dead, and he's not even done with this part. All right. What else is we get a cartridge after every combo, either the 1-2 AoE or the 1-2-3 1-2-3 single target. But you already knew that. The other cool thing is in the middle of your 1-2-3 single target combo is you get your ability Brutal Shell. Not only does it restore your hit points, but once you get it to like level 70 or 80, definitely max level, it doesn't just restore your hit points, but it also creates a barrier a barrier. It's called Brutal Shell, so you get a mini shell. You restore your hit points, and you get a mini shell. So that right there is like a defensive cooldown. So that's like what I'm saying when I say that you get more defensive cooldowns, but they're kind of weaker. Because right there in the middle of your combo is a defensive cooldown. So these Porksy Pixies, they randomly turn to the other party members in your party. So when you're tanking them, try to tank them next to your party. So when they do randomly turn away from you, like there's nothing you can do about it, they'll just randomly turn away from you. They won't turn far. You want to keep them all close together. So just kind of stack up with your party at that point. All right, here we go. Last room, homies. Let's do this. I got full cartridges, so before I finish this combo, I'm spending it. And now I can finish the combo. Boom. So I'm using that faded circle over and over again. I just used my attack buff, so all my attacks are doing better. And I want to, at some point during my attack buff window, use both my dots, because the attack buff increases the damage of the buff as well. Yeah, pretty significantly. So, yeah. Like I said, cartridges can be used on one of three things. Either a very powerful AoE attack called Faded Circle, a very powerful single-person attack called a Burst Strike, or a very powerful, very, very, very powerful single-target combo, which is going to be Gnashing Fang into Savage Claw into Wicked Talon. And at level 70, you get an ability called Continuation, which in between each one of those 1, 2, 3 abilities, 1, 2, 3 weapon skills, in between Gnashing Fang, Savage Claw, and Wicked Talon, you'll be able to use Continuation to put another attack in between each one of those. So it goes from a 1, 2, 3 combo into a 6-part combo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom. Like that. So it becomes pretty crazy. And you will definitely want to line up that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 combo with your No Mercy damage buff window. All right, so I'm at max cartridges right now. I'm going to start my rotation and then go into my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 combo right away. I'm using both dots in this window and basically just using my hardest hitters, like, right away. And now things are going to slow down a little bit. I got Mortal Flame up, so I'm passing it over here. All right, here it goes. Gnashing Fang, Savage Claw, Wicked Talon, with a little continuation in between each one. It's good. All right, get a Burst Strike over here. Boom. All right. So same thing. That guy's going to get vulnerability because he didn't move far enough away. You want to see purple. If you were looking at pink, you're not far enough away. Oh, and he's going to aim it at... All right, yeah. Aim it at the wall if you can. All right, and the best part here, once you've seen the tethers go out once, go into the corner. Just tank them in the corner. You just want to tank them in the corner because there's the chandeliers, and here comes the fire crosses. And if you drop your fire cross in the corner, that's one less fire cross that can blow up a chandelier. Boom, 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 boom. All right, give me an AoE. Here comes an AoE. Come on. Scorching right? Okay, this is just a dodge thing. Do your 6-part combo as much as possible. If he runs away, use your gap closer. And yeah. It's really all you can do. Gap closer. As a tank, you can kind of tank. You can take a lot of damage. So a lot of these mechanics like don't even matter to you. You'll find out real quick. The hard part of tanking is doing wall-to-wall pulls like I showed you earlier. Here's the raid wide. I'm using reprisals so that it does less damage on everyone. Boom, and that's it. So yeah, basically that's tanking, and that's the gunbreaker. I would say the gunbreaker is a pretty awesome job because it has a lot of damage. It does a lot of damage. It's the highest damage out of all the tank classes, and its defense. You're gonna say that it's squishy. You're gonna feel like it's squishy, but it's because it has a lot of cooldowns. They're weak cooldowns, but there's a lot of them. So you'll be using them a lot. And it's going to balance out. I would say Gunbreaker is like a better Dark Knight. Like Dark Knight is a poor man's Gunbreaker, is what I would say at this point. Because you get a lot of cool utility as well. You bring support to your party because you got 2 abilities that are buffs on you. They're defensive cooldowns that you can use on yourself, but they can also be applied to your party members, specifically Heart of Stone. It can reduce the damage taken by you or a party member by 15%. And if you're currently under the effect of Brutal Shell, that effect is going to be granted to the target as well. It's a crazy ability. So if you know like someone's about to get hit, you can hit them with Heart of Stone. And best case scenario is you just use Brutal Shell, hit them with Heart of Stone, and they're going to get like super buffed. And that attack that is going to hit them is not going to do as much damage, which is great if you're playing as the off tank and you know that the main tank is about to get a tank buster. You pop them with this, and it's going to really, really help them out. It's going to make them fall in love with you, basically. Aurora also is a regen, so it's going to be curing you, regenerative spell, but you can apply it to anyone in your party or alliance or whatever. So it doesn't have to be you. It can be anyone. So that's another support ability. And then finally, you have Reprisal, which all tanks have. All tanks have Rampart, which is a 20% damage taken reduction. It's a damage defensive cooldown. And every tank has Reprisal, which reduces the damage dealt by nearby enemies by 10%. So all tanks have those. And Reprisal is one that you're going to use basically every raid-wide AoE. And when you can't use Reprisal, you want to use Heart of Light. You want to use those back-to-back. Reprisal every time that you can, and if it's not up, use Heart of Light, because it's the same thing. It's going to reduce damage taken, magic damage taken, by you and all nearby party members. And I want to say all raid-wide attacks are magic damage. So those two are the support abilities. Unfortunately, Superba Lead is the worst invincible ability. It's got a 6-minute cooldown. You can only use it once every 6 minutes. It's crazy. That's right? Yeah, 6 minutes. It's basically the longest cooldown. And also, it reduces your hit points to 1. If I didn't make that clear, that's crazy. White Mage Benediction helps out, but what if they use it right before you use Superba Lead? They're going to waste theirs and they're going to be upset at you. Anyway, Gunbreaker, highly recommend. Yeah, this has been my guide to Gunbreaker. I will see you guys on the other side.